was a quiet night in suburban Maryland, the kind where the only sound is the hum of streetlights and the slow rhythm of a clock that never lies. Miezah Johnson had just finished reviewing case files in her home office. She was tired, still wearing her gray FBI hoodie, hair tied back. Her work involved corruption investigations, the kind that made enemies in quiet corners of law enforcement. She was used to late-night knocks on her conscience. Not her door. Then came the crash. Glass shattered, a door splintered, voices thundered through the hallway. "Get down! Hands where I can see them!" Miezah froze, instinct before fear. Her mind raced. No call, no warrant, no warning. She raised her hands slowly. 2 officers stormed in, uniformed, loud, adrenaline drunk. One was young, the other, older with that dangerous smirk of someone who'd mistaken ego for duty. "Ma'am, you're under arrest," the older one barked. "For what?" she asked calmly. He didn't answer. He just looked at her, really looked, and saw what he thought he knew. Black, alone, in a nice house. That was all he needed to invent a crime. They pushed her against the wall. Cold. Metal cuffs bit into her wrists. The younger officer hesitated. "Sarge, are you sure this is her?" "Don't question me." Dispatch said burglary suspect, female, mid-30s, black. "That's her." Her voice didn't shake. "You're in the wrong house," the sergeant sneered. "Lady, people like you always say that." She looked him dead in the eye. "People like me?" He ignored the question, walking toward the living room. Then he saw it. A black jacket hanging on the coat rack. Large yellow letters across the back. FBI. He laughed. "What? You steal this too?" The younger cop swallowed hard. "Sarge." "What if— Shut up!" the sergeant snapped. "She's lying." But the calm in her voice unnerved them both. "Funny," she said. "I was going to say the same about you." For a moment, no one spoke. Then the radio on the sergeant's belt crackled. "Unit 12, confirm location. Suspect already in custody downtown." Both men froze. The sergeant's hand trembled slightly. He looked around the house again. The framed commendations, the bookshelf full of law journals, the badge number engraved on the desk plaque. Special Agent Miezah Johnson, Federal Bureau of Investigation. The realization hit him like a bullet made of shame. He'd just arrested a federal agent. In her own home, Miezah turned slowly, the cuffs still on. "Now," she said quietly, "who's going to read you your rights?" By dawn, the house was crawling with FBI internal investigators. Neighbors watched from their windows as the 2 officers sat handcuffed on the front steps. Their own department had already called in, trying to contain the story, but it was too late. The footage from Miezah's security. Cameras had captured everything from the door being kicked into the moment the radio corrected them. The video hit the internet before sunrise. Racist. Cops break into FBI agent's home at 2 a.m. Within hours, it was trending nationwide. At headquarters, the Bureau's director called Miezah personally. "Agent Johnson, you handled that with remarkable restraint," she replied calmly. "Director, restraint shouldn't be remarkable. It should be expected." Meanwhile, the local police chief faced a room full of reporters, microphones, cameras, flashing lights, questions like bullets. "Were your officers acting on credible intelligence? Why didn't they verify the address? Do you believe race played a factor?" He stuttered. We are conducting an internal review, but truth doesn't wait for reviews." A week later, the city council held a public hearing. The entire community showed up. Anger mixed with disbelief. Cameras everywhere. The 2 officers sat at the table in their pressed uniforms, trying to look small. Miezah walked in wearing the same FBI hoodie they had mocked. The crowd erupted in applause. The chairwoman banged the gavel. "Agent Johnson, please take the stand." She adjusted the microphone. Her voice was calm. Firm, the voice of a woman who didn't need to raise her tone to be heard. "What happened to me," she began, "wasn't a mistake. It was a mindset, the kind that sees color before character, the kind that assumes authority is always right and silence is safety." The room was dead silent. "I don't need an apology," she continued. "I need accountability. Because if this can happen to an FBI agent, imagine what happens to those with no badge, no title, no voice." The words cut deeper than any gavel, mid-hearing. A staffer rushed forward, handing the chairwoman a note. She read it, then turned to the crowd. "We've just received confirmation from internal investigations. The warrant used for the raid was fabricated." Gasps filled the room. All eyes turned to the sergeant. His face drained of color. He stammered, It came from dispatch." Miezah looked at him steadily. "No, it came from you. You typed it yourself, didn't you?" He said nothing. Silence the kind that confesses louder than words ever could. Within minutes, the chief ordered his arrest. Flashing lights outside the hearing chamber. The same cuffs he once used on her now locked around his own wrists. Reporters swarmed the scene. The headline wrote itself, "FBI agent exposes corrupt officers live at city hearing." Days later, Miezah stood on the steps of the federal courthouse, facing a crowd of journalists. She didn't grandstand. She spoke softly, every sentence a lesson. Justice isn't about revenge. It's about truth. Because if truth doesn't protect us all, then justice belongs to no one. Her words became the clip that echoed across the country. Homes, in classrooms, in every police training seminar that dared to be honest. Weeks passed. The department issued an official apology. New policies were enacted, anonymous. Tip lines opened for abuse reports. But Miezah didn't care for applause. She went back to work, back to the quiet pursuit of truth. One evening, a letter arrived with no return address. Inside, a short note. "Thank you for speaking when I couldn't. Because of you, my son finally believes the system can listen." She folded it carefully, placed it on her desk beside her badge. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to smile. That same night, her phone buzzed a notification from YouTube, a video titled, "The Woman Who Changed the Rules, Agent Miezah Johnson." Underneath, thousands of comments, stories, gratitude, hope. She read one aloud quietly. "You made me believe again." She looked toward the window, moonlight spilling in, and whispered, "That's all I ever wanted." They kicked down her door thinking they'd found a suspect. What they found instead was the mirror of their own prejudice. And the reflection changed everything. If this story moved you, subscribe to Mr. Miezah Stories, because every week, we tell the stories the world tries to forget, the stories where truth finally knocks back.